a couple controversial calls down the stretch that went against the Golden State Warriors in a 4-point loss. They dropped to 1-2 on this 5-game homestand as the Rockets improved to 12-4 on the season. They've won 12 of their last 14 games. However, their defense really stepped up in the second half, holding the Warriors to 41 second-half points and 2 of 21 from the three-point line. That defense is real, and the Warriors will have to lick their wounds, and we'll have an update on Steph Curry as he walked away from this game with the knee injury there. We'll have an update, of course, later on here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with NBA champion Festus Ezeli, my brother from another mother, Rob Brooks. I am Bonte Hill, and we talked about Reed Sheppard. You brought him up. Zena brought him up the other day. I laughed. Well, he went off with a career-high 30 points.
I told you he was going to be a problem. We've seen the Warriors have problems with opposing guards all season long, and Reed Sheppard has become a much better player this year. Only had 7 points in Phoenix a couple of nights ago. Just had a feeling he was going to go off, and he got anything he wanted. He got it off the dribble. He got it spot up. He got it going to the basket. Yep. He got anything he wanted, and the Warriors were powerless to stop him.
And that's the point guard for the other team. He sets the tone. And I thought he did a great job of putting pressure on the Warriors' rim the whole night long. With no Kevin Durant, they struggled. The Houston Rockets struggled to manufacture points. So early in the first half, it was solely Reed Sheppard. And then in the second half, he got to the rim and was getting everybody else shots. They got involved in the game defensively. I think they did also a great job of stifling the Warriors, getting offensive rebounds, and then Reed Sheppard was just going crazy.
Yeah, the third quarter really flipped this game when they held the Warriors to 17 points and 0 of 8 shooting from the three-point line. Reed Sheppard, 31 points, 12 of 25 from the floor, but then they got on the glass. They attacked the Warriors, and they mugged them at times and made it a physical brawl, which we knew would be the case coming into this game.
25 offensive rebounds for the Rockets out of their 53 total. What does that mean? Mean you get extra shots. The Rockets took 99 shots tonight. Now, they only made 39 of them, so the percentage wasn't very good. But again, this Rockets team, they're just all about overwhelming you with their rebounding, overwhelming you with their length and athleticism, overwhelming you with how physical they play defense. And we saw it take its toll on Steph tonight.
You got to give also credit to Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
This is a very disciplined basketball team in the Houston Rockets. They came out there with a lot of pressure, put a lot of pressure on Steph Curry, made sure every pass was tough. Made sure they turned the ball over, get out in transition. The fast break points led to everything else because you have the bigs. Clint Capella had 8 offensive rebounds tonight. You know, this all down the line, everybody played a little bit harder, got a little bit of what they wanted. They got second chance points. And on the other hand, the Warriors only got 1 shot, and every shot was pressured. Every time they got a shot, it was contested. It was rushed. This is a different pace for this Houston Rockets than the Warriors tonight.
All right, let's pick up the crunch time tape as the Rockets used a 24-6 run to take their first lead of the game. They were up 83-76, but the Warriors crawled back into it. And here's a critical play right here, critical possession. Ahmed Thompson initially called for the charge. It's a tie game, 91 apiece. Now, Steph gets banged up. Earlier, he had banged knees with Alperoun Şengün. He was shook up there. But on the floor, it looked like a good call. The Rockets challenged. And guess what? They won the challenge. Ahmed Thompson hits 2 free throws. What do you guys think?
That's an offensive foul, first and foremost, right there. Steph was moving, but that extended arm is an offensive foul.
I'll tell you this. Ime Udoka said to his team, because you missed a couple bumps before this, he said, every time you see Steph, hit him. The whole game long, every time you see Steph, make sure you hit him. And you can see that the whole game long. They just wore Steph out.
Now, what do you guys think about this? Steph called for the charge. It looked like the Warriors may win this challenge. It's a tough call right there. Holiday's in position. It's a 50-50 play. Call on the floor stands.
That's a bad call, but to me, the game didn't come down to that. The game came down to the fact that the Warriors couldn't stop this guy.
Look at this.
And
Look at this.
The Warriors were powerless to do anything against the Rockets' athleticism.
Great play by Ahmed Thompson. Think about that. Ahmed Thompson, they get the call overturned, hits 2 free throws. It's 93-91. On the other end, Pop gets 3 opportunities from the free throw line. He doesn't sink none of them. He has an empty trip from the free throw line. And again, Steph Curry, we're going to get an update on that as he walked off the floor there. Was fighting Dr. Rick Celebrini, trying to stay into the basketball game, but he walks off. And that's an unfortunate break for the Golden State Warriors, who are now without Steph, Al Horford, and Jonathan Kuminga. So hopefully Steph will be okay. But the Rockets just going to the rim relentlessly. I'm looking at these second half numbers, Fezzi. Warriors shot 36.5% from the floor, 2 of 21 from the three-point line. They couldn't get any offense going in that second half.
Yeah, the story of the second half was turnovers, speeding the Warriors up. That's what the Houston Rockets did. They put their imprint defensively on the game first. Then on the offensive end for them, it was just about getting out in fast breaks, getting Sheppard going, because they just couldn't stop him. Pick and rolls, he would just get into the teeth of the defense, was making shots. Yep. And then offensive rebounds. They got second, third opportunities. The big men were really active. There's no Kevin Durant. There's no efficiency. But if I get numbers on you, then we see who wins.
And then you had Sheppard being the head of the snake for the Rockets in the third quarter. Like I said, he was getting it any way he wanted to, but specifically getting to the paint, either finishing at the rim or kicking it back out and then getting the Warriors defense in the scramble mode. And it was either back to the basket or the Warriors were unable to get the recovery where it needed to be, and the Rockets were able to score off of that recovery. And one thing about the three-point shooting, what did the Warriors do three-point shooting-wise? Do you have those numbers real quick?
2 of 21 in the second half.
Yeah.
I believe they were 10 of 22 in the first half.
The Rockets only allow 13.9 made three-pointers a game. They did their job. We were talking about this before we went hot, that the Rockets are in the image of their coach, and their philosophy on defense and fouling is they can't call them all, so we just go keep pushing it.
I just thought the first half was about the Warriors, and second half was about Houston Rockets putting their defense, just making sure. This is a top 5 defensive team in the NBA. And with that, there's the offense is not going, so let's use our defense to be the measuring stick. I thought Alman Thompson was phenomenal. He wasn't getting going in the third quarter, but he was everywhere else. He was getting offensive rebounds. He was flying around. He was disrupting Steph's passes. Yep. I thought that they did a great job of taking the Warriors out, and they just got into a rhythm. Sheppard, he's a young player, but he really got his team going. In a night where Operation Goon only scores 16 points. He only scores 16. He averages 22. You think that in a game like this, the Warriors would win it with no Kevin Durant, but still everybody else showed up in their own different way.
And I don't even necessarily mean this in a negative way. The Rockets drag you down to their level. They don't mind playing a rock fight. They don't mind if their shots don't go in because they're such a good rebounding team, particularly offensively. So if they could get you playing that style of basketball, they're perfectly fine with that. It's the other squads like the Warriors, that need to hit shots from the outside. It's the other squads that get really uncomfortable when they're not making shots, and all of a sudden the Rockets are like, now you're down on our level. This is the game we want to play. Then they start pushing the issue, and at that point, it's over.
25 offensive rebounds for Houston tonight, the most the Warriors have allowed since 2007. But the big concern is Steph Curry, of course, the chef, who's off to a dynamic start this season. But what will happen with this knee right here? He banged knees with Operation Goon. You see him feel it right away. Started hobbling around there. And that's never a good feeling, right, Fezzi?
No, especially because of who Steph is. You see right there, he bangs knees, and he still tries to get out there and run. But all night long, every possession was about being physical with Steph, taking him out of the game, because that's the one guy you don't want to get going in this building right here.
Well, they took Steph out of that game in the second half. He was just 1 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 5 from the three-point line, just 6 points. 4 of them came from the free throw line, so attention to detail on where Steph was coming, relocating off the screens. Ime Udoka's squad did a really good job on Steph Curry tonight.
They were top blocking him, they were fronting him, they were doubling him, and then when there was one-on-one coverage, it was Amen Thompson. So that's tough for you all night long. I thought it was interesting in the second quarter. It seemed like the Warriors were trying to get Steph on the ball more, and I think we were talking about this. They got him a couple of times switched, off of Steph, and got Sheppard switched on him. And it seemed like the Warriors didn't take advantage of that. You're only going to get, and to me, I would think the Rockets made a mistake in that regard. That's not necessarily how they want to live guarding Steph. You're only going to get that mistake a couple of 3 times and not take advantage of it. I thought was folly.
Ball never got back to Steph.
Never got back to
him. The
ball
ball could not move.
Yeah.
They were doing a great job of being in the pass. This is a long athletic team. Yeah. Every time you try to move the ball on them, there is somebody tipping the basketball, somebody in the passing lane. It felt like when a pass went through, you breathe a sigh of relief. It was like, man,
we did it.
Somebody passed the ball successfully. They were out there in the passing lanes. This is a very young, scrappy team. And, man, to be able to win a game like this on the road without your superstar and having your young guys not be able to make shots and still get this win says a lot about what their defense does and what Ime Udoka has really imprinted on this team.
No Tari Eason, no Steven Adams, and no Kevin Durant because they had Sheppard to help him out tonight. He set the tone in that first quarter with 11. Right away, he hit 3 threes, and you're like, uh-oh, he's comfortable again. He scores a career-high 31 points. the first-round pick out of Kentucky from a couple years ago.
Spot up.
9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocked shots. He filled up the stat sheet, and Rod, we kept talking about this. We kept discussing it. What will he look like in the month of April when the Rockets are gearing up for a playoff run?
I mean, he's already looking pretty good right now. So we've seen spot up, okay, a couple of dribbles. We get to the elbow. All right, there he is, on the break, getting to the rim fairly easily. He's tenacious. I mean, the only thing he doesn't do is shoot free throws. But he had the greenest of lights tonight. It was like, hey, man, get it how you live. And, it was a little slow for him there around the second quarter. But, again, I thought the third quarter, just the fact that he was able to get to the rim anytime he wanted to, that opened things up for him.
The pick and pop was really open for him early in the game. Early in the game, it was him setting the pick and roll, popping out to the three-point line. He must have really watched Utah the other night because that's exactly what Keontae George got. Those open shots. You got to have the guy on the weak side stunt, help, switch, especially after 2 made shots. You got to make him uncomfortable defensively. I thought the Warriors just let him get way too comfortable. One of the plays, he drove right by somebody and got to the rim for a dunk. I don't think I've ever seen Sheppard get a dunk in the NBA on somebody. So that's just the Warriors' defense needs to be better than what it was.
But that's the thing. Once they start to move, once they get into scramble mode, once they start helping and try to recover, that's just not the Warriors' thing.
Reed Sheppard, 6 of 12 in that second half, 16 points, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. So he did his damage in the first half from 3, but he took his game inside, drove by anybody, and give him credit for making those 2 icing free throws there at the end of the game. So moving forward, what does this mean for the Golden State Warriors? You saw Houston for the first time since that riveting playoff series where it looked a lot like this tonight.
Well, point of attack defense is something that we have discussed at length. Point of attack defense, turnovers, rebounding. Right now, the rebounding, teams are coming in here getting, incredible rebounds. This is 25 offensive rebounds is a lot. It's hard to overcome that when you're doing a good job defensively. It's just deflating for a team. You come into it, you get a stop, you play the whole shot clock, and then you get an offensive rebound, and every play that's the case, it gives life to the other team, and it takes life out of your team. So for the Warriors, they got to do a better job rebounding, and maybe it's a collective effort.
The Rockets got 99 shot attempts. Imagine if Kevin Durant were here to get a piece of those 99 shot attempts.
Without Steven Adams, too.
Without Steven Adams. Yeah. Without Tari Eason. It boggles the mind. It's to get almost 100 shot attempts, to get almost the majority of your rebounds to be offensive is just insane.
So I'm hearing Stephen Curry, right quad contusion. So nothing to do with the knee, right quad contusion for Stephen Curry. We'll see about his status for Saturday.
Contusions are, you never know with contusion. It takes a while to heal. Sometimes you kind of have to listen to your body. But for Steph, that's a lot of beating he took in one game.
Yep.
And for the Warriors, you got to find ways to take advantage of the fact that they were pushing him out the whole time.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about that. Warriors lose their second home game of the season. It dropped to 10-10. We'll hear from Steve Kerr on the other side here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live.
Toyota Warriors Postgame Live is presented by Toyota, class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.